Hello, duelists. Welcome to the King's Court. Now, thank you for joining me. This is the 10th installment in my Locals Report series. This is a series where I take a rogue deck, usually heroes, or I'm starting to also play my Dolce deck more often, and bring it to my locals Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and try to place basically as high as I possibly can. Then I come back here and explain it all to you in a storytime setting. Now, in the most previous one, my most previous locals report, I played Blaze Man, and if you've seen that one, which you haven't, go ahead and go check it out. You know that I came this close. Oh, you can't really see through the. Yeah, well, I was super close to getting first place, and I was playing heroes, and I was this close, but I only barely lost the tier elements, which, as we all know right now, is obviously the best deck. It is a tier. We're in a tier zero format, and that deck is nuts. So basically, I went again expecting to play against tier elements again. Weirdly enough, I didn't. It was a 8 round. No, it was eight. No, it was 8 or 10. I think it was either way. 3 round, and I managed to get. I got third, basically. Yeah. So the reason I messed up is because now, funny thing about this uh, weekly tournament, a friend of mine actually for his first, not first time ever, but in a very long time, he actually competed in the at our locals weekly Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, which is crazy. He played his Dragon Link deck, and Dragon Links are actually really cool. I played Dragon Links actually for a while, and I really like them. Although personally I messed around. It's funny. I had Dragon Links back when Chamber Dragon Maid was only had one printing. It's funny. Here's a quick funny story. I bought those cards when they first the Chamber Dragon Maid when it first came out, like was first printed, and I had the first, and I only got them for like I think maybe $10 each. I sold them all off way before they got their reprint for like $80 each. So I profited hard. It was awesome. Man. I actually got like a lot of funny stories when it comes to me selling off cards before a ban list or before a reprint. It's hilarious. I think the best one I ever had is when I sold Laval Chain years ago before it got banned. Literally 2 weeks before it got banned. That was awesome. But so he competed this week and he did not too bad. The problem he just recently acquired the Bestial engine and he's still not used to that. He hasn't played the deck since he's mostly when we play Yu-Gi-Oh because like he's a friend of mine who also plays the Digimon TCG. He's the one if you're like a like consistent viewer of the channel, which for the record we're close to 50 subscribers. Thank you so much. Um, he's this. If you watch our Digimon content, he's the same friend who got top 64 on an online tournament cup, and he's the one who we posted his Dobrikmon Turbo deck. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. Yeah, it's the same friend. He hasn't really been playing Yu-Gi-Oh as often because tier limit is just he doesn't know how to play against it basically, and not just him, but our other friend who, if you've seen my pre-recorded gameplay of me having a practice duel with him learning his for higher decks, they're basically, I guess you could say, I'm somewhat giving them like a bit more of a confidence boost because I'm playing like rogue decks at our locals and I'm doing pretty good actually. So they thought it's like helping them feel better about playing their decks that they're not too sure about competing like against Tier Lament, Sprite, Runic, all that good stuff. So that's pretty cool actually, because I love bringing in more players into I love I just want more players to compete because not only do I get more practice, but also it just overall this is a better environment. So before we get to the meat and potatoes of the video, and before we get to the me explaining my rounds and how I did, let me know in the comments what rogue deck do you think can compete with that? Like, do you think Obviously, heroes are a rogue deck, and so are Madolche. Dragon Link, I because of the bestials, I don't want to say they're really like as rogue. So let me know in the comments what you're beside if you're a hero fan like me. Let me know your favorite rogue decks that you've been playing against and have had success with at your locals. I want to know, and I reply to every comment we get. So let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe. Shameless plug aside. All right, I had 3 rounds. Ironically, I didn't play against my friend. Go figure. Also, channel member Michael decided not to play this week. We had like a really long day, like weekend, so he decided to just relax that day. So I was cool with that. I decided to keep. I decided to play anyways. So my first round was against one of the better players. Like I've said in the previous videos, I don't want to say one of the better players because everyone there is really good, and pretty much everyone there has like competed at regionals and even done pretty good themselves. So, but if I had to really say him and one other person have like the most credentials and the most success. Like they've both topped multiple regionals before, and here in our neck of the woods. So Cali and all that. So they've both done pretty good. So they're like considered two of the better players at our locals. So I got paired up against him, and he's a cool dude. I've no, we're not like it's not like we're besties or anything, but he's a cool guy. So I've known him, and I played against him. He was playing Sprite. Oh man! And the second round, I played against the guy who I've mentioned before. I don't have the fun. Almost everyone there, I unanimously have fun with playing. Like they're all really cool and really nice. But this guy can be a bit of a John, basically. If you know Smash Bros. Terms or anyone knows that, pretty much everyone knows what that means. He can be a bit of a John. He always wants every time he loses, even when he side decks, he constantly keeps saying he misplayed or he bricked and all that good stuff. But not the point. He was playing some kind of really weird. I don't know what it was. Some kind of weird Predaplant Turbo spam. I don't know what it was. Man, it was okay. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of crap. It was kind of garbage. I beat him pretty quickly. It was pretty easy. He scooped game one too, because I pretty much like was just about to OTK him. I usually don't like sounding rude, but I need to be honest. Honest, I'm not a quick. I'm not a monster card that gives you extra attack during the damage calc. But I need to be honest. I need to be realistic. Yeah, the deck was pretty bad. I do not know if he was like experimenting or this is like a brand new deck, but it was really bad. And round three, I mean, I played against. This is the first time I've ever played against this deck, Scareclaw. That deck actually's got some pretty wacky plays. That deck is pretty nuts. I think it's cool too. Like I think they all look really cool. So I mean those my only loss though was my first round against Sprite because I'm trying to prepare like obviously, if you're new to the hero deck, we all know that let me see. Our best card for dealing with the tier limits is obviously Dark Law, but I was so prepared to play against them. I almost forgot about Sprite. Like I feel like that's something we need to address. Like obviously everyone talks about tier limits, tier 0, it's crazy, it's nuts. But we honestly sometimes forget just how good Sprite still is. Like it's not as impossible like it's not the crazy uphill battle against against tier limits is, especially for rogue decks like heroes, but Sprite is still a nasty deck to deal with. So I lost my first game. The first game, I had Ferris and Shadow Mist in my hand. Let me see. see. My hand was actually not half bad. And there it is. I don't remember I need to start writing these down, like all my matches, so I can come here like with notes. I'll start doing that. But basically, in my hand, I opened up with Ferris, Shadow Mist, and Stratos. So I wanted to bait out like any Ash or something that might have been in his hand. So I discarded Shadow Mist to go into summon Ferris, and I tried to activate effect. But unfortunately, he drew the nuts. He not only bestialed Shadow Mist, like the bestial that banishes dark monsters, he also managed to Valor my Ferris. God, this whole tournament, Valor was out to get me. I swear. I'll explain later. But so I tried. Then I tried going Stratos, but I didn't know what to do because no, I didn't know what to play because the rest of my cards didn't really like work with each other. I needed the Ferris to go off. Unfortunately, the other two cards were kind of dead. So I instead went and added. I thought to myself, okay, I'll just try to make it this turn. I added Liquid Soldier to my hand thanks to Stratos. But it didn't matter. You mean if anyone knows just how powerful Sprite is, one of my cards was Imperm. And that was it. Because he tried to normal summon Rodentodon and I impermed it, but he still managed to go off because he managed to like to set up his. I don't know. I'm just like still not used. I'm just not used to the Sprite matchup. I played against them before, but he himself said both games he drew the God hands, so it's the perfect hands to stop me. So hey, what can you do? So I pretty much lost that one. OTK, and yeah, he got it. What can you do? Game two was really interesting. I decided to go turn one. I sided in. Where did I put my side deck? Oh, there it is. Every time when I go, since I went first, I was playing the same deck list that I uploaded recently that I was this close to getting first with, that I got second with at the previous week's locals that I've been doing pretty well with. If you haven't seen that deck profile, go check it out. Which, by the way, if you have seen it, thank you so much. The views on that deck profile is doing great. It hasn't even been a week, and it's already almost at 300 views. So thank you so much. Honestly, really appreciate it. Um, when I go first, if you see that video, you'll see my whole side deck. I like to side in my Solemn Judgment and my D barriers. So I sided those in. Weirdly enough, I saw a double D barrier. So I called Xyz, so that actually like slowed him down a bit. And I had Stratos on the field. So after that, I mass changed Stratos because I wanted to bounce back his monster during my turn. I mean, not his monster, his back row. But even though it did, he just managed to build up more monsters than me because not only did he negate Stratos, because when it was I tried going, he had Imperm and Ash. So both games he drew the double cards that he gave me, so he got it. I wasn't even mad, honestly. After he told me that both games he just drew the God hand, I was like, you know what? This happens. It happens there. You can't win them all. So he got it, and yeah, that was the only run I lost though. Game round two. Man, it's not much to say with this one. I don't like being I don't like being rude or anything because it's a game. Like with all the games we bring here to the channel, Yugioh, Digimon, trying to bring in some Pokemon Showdown gameplay. If you've seen that, thank you by the way. I know it's like a new thing we're adding to the channel, but I feel like we're actually getting some steady growth there. Um, I don't like to be rude because to me it's a game and I want to have fun. I know. That sounds super corny, super cliche, super cheap, whatever you want to call it. But For me, it's true because these are hobbies that I like to enjoy that just help me take the stress out of daily life and to help me deal with the stress of daily life. Just lets me relax. So, but I gotta be realistic. This game was easy. Oh my god. Um, he tried going off, like tried using that Predaplant monster that he like. It's basically a lone fire blossom. I ashed him. After that, he pretty much just scooped right there because I went off from there. I went Stratos, got Ferris, discarded Malicious, started making my moves, and he didn't have anything to stop me. So that was pretty easy. So he scooped right in the middle as I was making my combos. So there's not much to say there. Game two, he wanted to go first, obviously, so he sided for it. So did I. So I sided in my lightning storms and all that good stuff. Ironically, again, I drew Ash and I stopped his lone fire thing. But he also managed to use instant fusion. Oh my god, instant fusion. That's oh man. Does anyone else feel like instant fusion is like one of the big problematic cards right now? Also, if you guys see that, I'm sorry for the glare. Like my camera's facing the sun, like an open window behind me. I get you curtains. I'm really sorry about that. Um, Anyone feel that instant fusion really should be like one of those cards that might need to be on the chopping block because it really perpetuates too many degenerate plays at a really ridiculously low cost. Like 1,000 life points is really nothing anymore. So I don't know. Maybe that's me. Me and Michael are actually working on our ban list prediction video. Um, we're working on it for like a week only because we've had like other stuff to deal with, so it's been taking a. We haven't had a chance to finish it, but we'll have it up soon. Like most likely after this video goes up, we'll probably have it up either Thursday or Friday. Thank you for your patience and try not to eat us alive. We're probably going to make some predictions or choices that not everyone's going to agree with, so we're expecting some heat. But so if you want to see that, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Um, Game two, he set these two trap cards. He de-barriered me, but I did drew Lightning Storm, so I called back row. Where is it? I mean, we all know what Lightning Storm does. Let's see. We all know what Lightning Storm does. I called back row, and he chained that trap card that for the rest of my turn, my monsters would be banished, and he also called D barriers. So I'm like, okay, he bought himself a turn. So I just went Stratos and I just started setting up my hand. After that, he couldn't really do much. Like I don't know what he drew, but he couldn't do well, think of it like this. He did go turn one, he played his monster, nothing. Then he instant fusioned. That's two cards, and then he used his two set cards. Those were gone, which means he only had one card left in his hand. So during his turn, when he drew at the beginning, after I lightning stormed him and set up Stratos to get ready for the next turn, he would have only had two cards in his hand. So I guess he just didn't draw anything that helped. So after that, I went to my turn and I just went off and I went Plasma. Well, let me see. Ah, here it is. Again, sorry about that glare. Oh, dang, sorry. My mind is like all over the place today. Like, anyone else ever have one of those days? I managed to get Plasma, DPE, Sunrise, and it was actually a pretty good hand since I had to wait an extra turn to go off. So I managed to get all of them. And the crazy enough thing, I had managed to actually do the acid play because I had mass change, so I tributed off Ab Zero. Which, by the way, this isn't the only time I'm going to be doing that this tournament. So, I mean, I didn't do that just once that tournament. I actually managed to get off acid twice. That happened in the next round. So acid and blew up his whole field and just got game. Pretty standard, not much to say. Game didn't really last long. Had to end up waiting like 30 minutes for the round to end, for everyone else's round to end. So that was pretty good right there. Not bad. Let's see. And then the Scareclaw matchup. I have never played against Scareclaw once in my life. Like, I've heard really good things about them, and I've seen like their link, like their. I guess it's like the face of the deck, that link monster they use, the really cheaty looking one. Um, I've seen them, but I never played against them, so I didn't know what to expect. So I went first because I thought, all right, if I set up my field, we'll see how this deck works. So I tried going Stratos. He Veilered me. I'm like, okay, fine. I usually like to set up Yugioh Stratos first, anyways, in case like they're gonna Ash or Veiler me, anyways. So I tried using Ferris effect. I get if I remember right, the guy said on Master Duel he's his friend plays heroes, so he knew what to hit. So crazy enough, he double Veilered me, and I could have sworn I thought this is my bad. I really thought Veiler was a once per turn, but no, I was thinking Ash. I forgot Veiler came out during the time where cards didn't say once per turn, so yeah, I couldn't really do much after that. He managed to set up his Scareclaw monsters, and he managed to go into this crazy, big, huge Link 4 Scareclaw monster called Tryhard, I think? Uh, I might be saying that wrong. I'm sorry to Scareclaw players watching this. But I think it was called Scareclaw, or something, like Scareclaw Tryhard or something. Basically, this huge 3000 thing that set all my monsters at defense, and I couldn't target them with card effects. So after he set everything up, I managed to try to go DPE. I didn't know that's what it did. This thing was better than Baguska, honestly. So I lost that one. Not only did he double Veiler me, he pretty much got a monster out that I couldn't deal with. I couldn't do anything against. So that was it there. Game 2, we didn't side because my issue is this could just be like a me thing, like a problematic thing I do to myself, because this probably would cost me games. But if my opponent doesn't side, I feel dirty if I side and they don't. I don't know. That could just be a me thing. It's probably does. So, but it doesn't matter because I managed to get off the crazy field that I want to get off. I went to game 1 and I managed to Plasma DPE Darklaw. So he couldn't deal with it because not only did Plasma pretty much stop all his plays, with DPE lowering all his monsters and Darklaw banishing everything, he pretty much scooped after that because he pretty much said he didn't have anything to handle it. So that was pretty cool. Game 3, I managed to pretty much win in a similar manner, although instead of Plasma, not Plasma. Instead of Darklaw, I managed to Game 2, I managed to open up and go into DPE, Plasma, and Ab-Zero. He had some monsters and spells and traps, luckily, but I guess he got all his luck out in the first one because he didn't have Veiler or anything, so I managed to attack overall. I managed to basically just win thanks to the acid combo. So the MVP for this tournament actually was Vision Hero, was Master Hero Acid. Old school Ab-Zero, and so I should have explained this in the previous when going over the previous one. In case anyone here is new to Heroes or has never played against it, the acid combo, when Ab-Zero leaves the field, no matter what, unless he goes to grave or you negate it or something like with Call By or something, he'll blow up all your opponent's monsters as long as he leaves the field. So because I mass changed, he left the field, he blew up his monsters, and when Acid was on the field, he blows up all your opponent's spells and traps. So basically, you're nuking their field. So I managed to get it right there. Easy, because what I did was absorb his monster first with plasma, so I got way over 8K and I won right there. Guy was nice. He looked new to the to our locals because I never seen him before. So I guess he's new or probably from out of town. So yeah, that was the locals report, and that was all my matches. Pretty solid, pretty good, and I managed to get third at least. So hopefully next time, I think I might play my Dolce next because I'm very happy with the way my heroes have been performing. So I want to start like bring a little more Dolce to the channel. That way I can like because I don't want to like to all my fellow hero players. I want to bring whenever I play a game, I like to have at least two or three minimum at least decks that I can rotate between. So I got one more deck besides Dolce I'm working on for Yu-Gi-Oh! That one's just taking a little extra time. And so I'll have those ready, and that way I'll come up with the deck profile soon, since I'm comfortable with the build. So if you want to see more heroes and as well as Dolce and other future decks we're bringing to the channel, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for stopping by. Bye.